Hi, this is Mr. Evans. This video is going to look at how to answer 4 to 6 mark analyse questions. These questions predominantly appear in papers 1 and 2 of the A-level course. And this is an example of the sort of mark scheme that the examiner will be looking at when they're marking a 4 to 6 mark analyse, explain type question. So you need to demonstrate a range of depth and knowledge. You need to build a chain of argument that's going to show analysis and develop that, and include in that chain of argument some sort of application to the context that they provide you when they answer the question. So let's have a look at a couple of questions. Sorry, this is a structure, for what we need to include in our answer. I would highly recommend starting with a definition, so it's really clear that you have some knowledge, you've got a depth and range of knowledge, and you understand the issues in the question. So we're going to start with a definition. You need to build a logical chain of argument. If you can identify causes and effects, that's basically what the examiner is looking for to award analysis. You've got to include the context, which is basically the business example or scenario that they're talking about. And it's really important to have a final sentence that clearly answers the question and follows on from your chain of argument. So here are some examples of some questions. The first one is explain how mass customization benefits the shareholders of car manufacturers. So you've got quite a bit going on in this question. You need to know what mass customization is. You need to know who shareholders are and what would lead to benefits for shareholders, and you've got to put it in the context of car manufacturers. This is an example of a 4-mark question. One benefit of budgeting to a fast-growing business. Okay, so the context is a fast-growing business, and you need to explain why budgeting might be good for them. This one follows on. It's another car-related question. It's actually from a different paper, but the factors that might influence selling prices of cars. And so you've got to look very carefully for the context. In both of these questions, they've given you cars as a specific industry. This doesn't have a specific industry, but the context is a fast-growing business. And other contexts might include, say, a company in the retail sector, or maybe a sole trader, for example. All of those might be different examples of context that you might get in one of these questions. So this is the case. I'm going to have a look at the question here, how mass customization benefits the shareholders of car manufacturers. This is the case study that appeared in paper 2, and most of the information we need is in this second paragraph here. So I'm thinking about mass customization. I know what mass customization is. It's where we use mass production, but then we allow consumers to finish off the product to their specifications. And I know from my knowledge, from my revision, that shareholders benefit when they receive higher dividend payments, or when they make a capital gain when their share price goes up. So I'm looking for information that I can use when I'm answering the question. So this tells us that panels can be produced quickly and cheaply, and consumers can design their own panels for the car to make them look exactly as they want. So I'm thinking, okay, well, this is going to drive up revenues if consumers can make the car look exactly as they want. And the 3D printing allows us to cut costs. Revenue minus costs. If revenues are increasing and costs are falling, that's going to benefit a business in terms of its profits. And I can start to build a chain of argument based on that. Another thing to note is that this is a fiercely competitive environment. These are all things that I might be able to use to put this answer in context. So what's my answer going to look like? Well, I'm going to start off by explaining what mass customization is. It's the process of mass producing goods before individually tailoring the finished product to meet a customer's needs. So that's a very generic definition, but it shows the examiner that I've got some knowledge. Now I need to include the other 3 aspects of a 6-mark question. I need to build a chain of argument, I need to include the context, and I need to clearly link back to the question. So how am I going to do that? By utilising mass production such as 3D printing, so this is from the case study, it allows Daihatsu to benefit from production economies of scale, which drive down unit costs. At the same time, being able to customize the panel for the car attracts customers in this highly competitive market. Again, it's in context and may allow Daihatsu to charge a higher price, which drives up revenue. So I've looked at revenues and costs because I know that shareholders benefit from dividends, and the higher the profits, the more dividends. Increasing revenues and minimizing costs should raise profits. Shareholders are likely to benefit from higher profits as they may receive higher dividend payments or make a capital gain if the share price is driven up as a result of Daihatsu's improved financial performance. Okay, so in this answer here, you can see evidence of knowledge because I know what mass customization is. I've built a nice chain of argument saying how mass customization can drive down costs and raise revenues, therefore raising profits. And I've clearly linked back to the question at the end, which is shareholders are likely to benefit because they can receive higher dividend payments or make a capital gain. So hopefully that example will allow you to access the top marks in these 4 to 6 mark questions.